you're thinking about buying a new construction home, be very careful. Many people think it's time to be excited, it's time to start decorating, but in reality, you need to be aware of this top 10 pitfalls that most new construction home buyers make. I want to make sure that after you watch this video, you're armed and equipped with all the information you need to know to go out there and find your dream home that's not going to cost you thousands and thousands of dollars down the line. I'll help countless buyers navigate the new construction purchase process, and trust me, it's not as simple as just picking your favorite floor plan. There's a lot more that goes into it, and make sure we're going to cover all of those in this video. If you're new to my channel, I'm Tamar, your go-to connection to all things real estate, all things Durham and the Triangle. If you have any questions about new construction or resale homes here in the Triangle area, don't hesitate. So we're gonna start out with some of the more common ones and make sure to stick until the end, because the last three that I'm gonna share, I guarantee you've never heard of them. So let's jump right into it. Number one is not factoring in all the costs that having an HOA brings. Most people forget to factor in the cost for monthly HOA fees. Imagine getting pre-approved, going shopping, putting in an offer, and then find out that you don't actually qualify because you forgot to factor in extra $200 to $500 a month that you are paying into your HOA. Most people get qualified for a single family home. So if you're looking into something that is in a HOA, whether it's a single family or a townhouse, make sure you alert your lender so they're aware of it from the start and factor in when approving you for a loan. I've seen this happen time to time again, and don't let that be you. Make sure you factor in those HOA costs from the beginning to avoid disappointment. Right, so the mistake number two I see most people make is assuming that there won't be any delays. We all want our finished home as soon as possible, right? But the reality is that delays do happen. It's actually very common in new construction world. So assume and plan on it, and make sure that you have contingency plans in place, that whether the delays happen and they delay your project by weeks or even months, you have a backup plan. Delays happen for a myriad of reasons. It could be labor shortage, it could be material shortage, it could be due to inspection snags, but make sure to factor those in and plan for it. Mistake number three is ignoring future development plans. And this is a sneaky one. Many people fall in love with the area, how peaceful and quiet it is, and they forget to check the future development plans for the area. You don't want to be the person who ends up buying their dream home just to figure out a year later they're living next to a shopping mall. Make sure that you're understanding what the city and the development has in store for that area before you sign that contract. Mistake number four that new construction home buyers make is overlooking the builder's reputation. That's extremely important, so make sure you do your due diligence. Of course, we're all gonna fall in love with a shiny brand new model home, but do the quality of the work holds up? Read their reviews, talk to current residents. Are they the kind of builder that are going to be along the way helping you if something were to come up, or are they going to disappear as soon as you get the keys in your hand? So you want to make sure it's somebody who's reputable, who's going to be in the area for a long time, who's been in construction business for a long time, but then still do your due diligence, whether that's driving around when the construction is happening to see how they're handling materials, how they're stored, how fast they're completing the project, to talking to current residents. Mistake number five is not budgeting for inspections. Just because home is new does not mean that you need to overlook the inspections. On the contrary, when it comes to brand new construction, you would need to get 3 inspections: pre-drywall, regular inspection, and an 11-month inspection as well. Actually, I had an inspection for a new construction buyer last week, and the inspector found 5 different things. Of course, they were minor and could be fixed at the time of inspection, which is extremely important, because if they had been left unaddressed, it could have caused thousands of dollars damage down the line. So it's extremely important and something that people overlook all the time. Pro tip with this is to prepay for all your inspections at closing, and a lot of different inspection companies will let you do that. What I like about this is you don't have to remember when to schedule your 11-month inspection, so that builder can come back and repair anything and everything that was damaged during this time, because the inspector will let you know. And then secondly, you don't have to come up with any money at that time of inspection. You had already prepaid for this at the closing, which is usually the preferred way. Okay, number 6 is not considering the capital contributions to the HOA. Did you know that many builders require, especially when they're starting a new community, they require something called capital contribution to the HOA, which is the working capital for HOA to make sure that all the common areas are maintained, that are supposed to be maintained by the HOA. In the triangle area, I've seen that range anywhere from $300 all the way up to $2,000. And those costs and fees are not usually disclosed until you're about knee deep in the transaction, especially if you're handling the transaction on your own. That's why it's important to ask all of those costs up front before you even decide whether to proceed with the purchase or not, or work with an experienced agent who has lots of experience with new construction. Mistake number 7 that I've seen come up time to time again for many people who are trying to tackle this on their own is not understanding the complexity, or underestimating rather the complexity of builder's contract. For example, in North Carolina, our regular standard purchase offer is 17 pages long. Builders contracts, however, can be in excess of 100 pages. So it's extremely important to get the contract up front very early, so you have ample time to review everything, ask all the questions, and make sure you understand all the conditions and contingencies in there to be sure that you are getting the best deal, absolutely best deal. A lot of times, especially if you're going there at the end of the month or at the end of the quarter, they have special deals that are going on. There are about to end, and I see a lot of people feel pressured to make a decision right on the spot or that weekend or that day, not realizing that there's so many things to read and understand and make sure you're comfortable with. Again, so work with an experienced agent, or if you're taking this on your own, make sure you have ample time to review the builder's contract before signing the dotted line. Number 8 on our list, make sure to watch this video to the end, because last 2 ones are extremely important. So number 8 is not seeing the lot in person and purchasing a home kind of sight unseen. When it comes to new construction and pre-construction especially, you're already risking a lot without seeing the finished product. You're buying something in advance. Make sure you actually go and walk the lot and see where it is, what the topography looks like. Make sure it fits your vision, your budget, all of that. You'll be surprised. It kind of seems like a no-brainer, but you'll be surprised how many people buy a home without actually seeing where it's going to be situated. They look at the map of the community or site plan, and they think that's enough. 2D view of that map is not going to give you enough information for you to make an informed decision. So make sure you are actually physically visiting the lot and asking questions like, where's the next building going to be? How close is my neighbor's fence going to come to my house? You need to make sure you are understanding all of those things in advance and are comfortable with that decision. Okay, next I want to talk about 2 important factors to consider when it comes to resale value. And I know you're just buying a house. Of course, you're not going to sell it like ever, but trust me, most people don't stay in their homes more than 3+ years. Lately, because of the interest rates, people are staying in their homes a lot longer, but I'm sure that's going to change eventually again and go back to 2 to 3 years where people are moving constantly. And that's just how it is with work, life, everything's changing. You're going to end up needing a new home. So 2 things to look out for are retaining walls and a steep driveway. When you're trying to resell a home, those 2 things could cost your home to sit on the market a lot longer than any other home, and eventually and essentially selling for a lot less. Actually, I'm going to add a 3rd one, busy road. You don't want to be near a busy road. You don't want to have a steep driveway, and you definitely don't want to have a retaining wall, huge retaining wall, really close to your yard. One of the biggest pitfalls for that is, even though HOA in most cases maintains that, it still could be an issue down the line with water drainage and all of that. Make sure retaining wall is either small or pretty far away from your property. That way you can avoid a lot of issues down the road. Okay, and the last one is extremely important, and it is not considering the flood insurance. Many new construction homes are built on a land that was previously undeveloped or as my neighbor likes to say, tree infested. In any event, there's no history on that land and how it's going to do in the future. So you might think, hey, it's not in a flood zone, but you're not sure exactly what's going to happen in the future. So even if you're not thinking about purchasing a flood insurance, looking into it is a great idea. Many times, especially if you're not in a designated flood zone, they're very affordable and give you a peace of mind, and down the road you can kind of decide if that's something that you want to continue with or not, but I would highly recommend. So here we have it, top 10 common mistakes most new home buyers make when they're purchasing a brand new construction home. Don't forget, if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. And if you're thinking and considering buying a new construction home in Durham or the Triangle area, I'll be happy to help you navigate the transaction process. And last but not least, this video was not meant to scare you from new construction, but just to give you an overall idea and general things to look out for to make sure that you're fully prepared when making a decision.